Lee Junho's latest interview about Typhoon Family has become one of the most discussed moments in Korean entertainment this year. When he stated, "I want to be a son, a brother, a husband," during a behind-the-scenes press conversation, it was not a casual remark. It was a reflection of both his personal philosophy and the emotional depth of his role in the series. The statement quickly spread across media platforms, sparking discussions about identity, family, and the evolving definition of masculinity in modern Korean drama. But beneath the headline lies a deeper exploration of Junho's approach to acting, his personal growth, and how Typhoon Family represents a critical milestone in his journey as both an artist and individual. To understand the weight of his statement, it is important to place it within the broader narrative of Typhoon Family. The drama, centered around a family torn apart by economic hardship, betrayal, and reconciliation, situates Junho at the emotional core of the story. He plays Kang Tae-pung, a complex character shaped by ambition, resentment, and deep familial wounds. The character's internal conflict mirrors a universal struggle, the tension between freedom and responsibility, between self-interest and loyalty to one's family. Through Tae-pung, Junho embodies a man forced to confront the consequences of his choices, not as a hero or villain, but as a human being. During the filming of Typhoon Family, Junho's approach to character immersion went beyond technical precision. According to the production staff, he spent weeks studying real-life accounts of family estrangement and reconciliation, aiming to portray his character with realism rather than theatrical intensity. His interpretation of Tae-pung avoids melodrama and instead focuses on small, grounded moments, glances, silences, and restrained dialogue that convey unspoken guilt and longing. When asked about his preparation, Junho explained that he didn't just want to act like a family member, he wanted to feel like one, even off-camera. That desire informed his now viral comment, "I want to be a son, a brother, a husband." The line captures more than just aspiration. It encapsulates Junho's current artistic and personal state. After years of portraying diverse roles, from soldiers and kings to modern romantic leads, Junho has reached a point where emotional truth matters more than image. He's no longer seeking to impress audiences through performance alone. Instead, he's exploring how his art can mirror life in its most relatable and grounded form. Industry analysts note that this marks a significant shift from his earlier career phase. As an idol-turned-actor, Junho once carried the burden of proving his legitimacy. Early on, his casting choices were often viewed through the lens of skepticism common toward idol actors. Yet, over time, with performances in Just Between Lovers, Confession, The Red Sleeve, and King the Land, he methodically dismantled those doubts. Each project displayed a gradual shedding of performance artifice and a growing commitment to authenticity. Typhoon Family continues that trajectory, but on a more introspective level. It's less about emotional grandstanding and more about portraying the quiet persistence of human relationships. In the drama, Tae-pung's family represents a microcosm of South Korea's economic and social changes. Set against a backdrop of the late 1990s IMF crisis, the series examines how financial collapse fractures traditional family structures. Tae-pung's personal journey from reckless youth to reluctant caretaker echoes the struggles of an entire generation who were forced to grow up overnight. In that sense, Junho's comment about wanting to be a son, brother, husband doubles as a statement about generational responsibility. It reflects a recognition that family roles, once taken for granted, must now be earned through understanding, patience, and emotional labor. Junho's preparation for the role also involved extensive collaboration with director Park Dong-hoon, who is known for his realism-driven storytelling. Park reportedly pushed Junho to strip away all performative habits from his acting. The director's main instruction was, "Don't act like Tae-pung. Live as him." This led Junho to internalize the character's psychology in unusual ways. For instance, he avoided engaging in unnecessary offset conversation during emotionally heavy filming days, choosing instead to spend time in reflective silence. Co-stars later shared that Junho often stayed behind after scenes ended, rewatching playback footage to analyze subtle details like breath control, eye movement, and speech rhythm. When the press asked Junho how this role compared to his previous ones, he described Typhoon Family as a mirror held up to his own life. He elaborated that while many of his past roles involved external transformation, costume, posture, tone, this project demanded internal change. To play Taepung convincingly, Junho had to examine his own values surrounding duty, regret, and connection. That introspection led to the now famous statement about wanting to be a son, brother, and husband, because those are the three relational roles that define a man not by his success, but by his accountability to others. From a production perspective, Junho's transformation became evident in the consistency of his performance. According to the camera team, he rarely broke character between takes, maintaining emotional continuity even during technical delays. This discipline contributed to several of the drama's most powerful scenes, including one where Taepung returns to his childhood home after years of estrangement. Rather than delivering long monologues, Junho communicates the character's grief through silence and physical stillness. Critics have praised this restraint as the hallmark of his maturity as an actor, a deliberate choice that demonstrates trust in the material and confidence in his own presence. Thematically, Typhoon Family blurs the line between personal and collective trauma. Its characters are not caricatures of dysfunction. They are individuals shaped by circumstance. Through Taepung, Junho conveys the idea that every role within a family carries emotional weight. Being a son requires humility. Being a brother demands empathy. Being a husband requires strength tempered by vulnerability. His portrayal navigates these transitions with a level of control and nuance that anchors the entire narrative. The public's reaction to Junho's statement reveals how deeply audiences connect with sincerity. Fans and critics alike interpreted his words as evidence of emotional maturity and self-awareness. However, Junho himself clarified in later interviews that his comment was not about personal aspiration but about artistic perspective. "When I said I want to be a son, a brother, a husband," he explained, "I meant that I want to understand the essence of those relationships, not just play them, but embody them truthfully." This distinction underscores his ongoing evolution as an actor who values realism over dramatization. Culturally, his remark also touches on the shifting portrayal of masculinity in Korean media. Traditional male leads in K-dramas often rely on dominance, charisma, or stoicism. But Junho's characters, especially in recent years, tend to exhibit quiet emotional intelligence. In Typhoon Family, his version of masculinity is not about control or authority. It's about care and reconciliation. The fact that he articulates his creative philosophy through relational terms, son, brother, husband, suggests that he views identity as something defined by connection rather than independence. From a career standpoint, this moment may signal a broader transition for Junho. As his reputation solidifies within the acting world, his public image is evolving from idol star to cultural figure. He has become a bridge between generations of performers, someone who began in the highly structured world of K-pop but now operates within the more fluid landscape of cinematic storytelling. His reflections on Typhoon Family suggest a deepening commitment to long-form narrative work, perhaps foreshadowing future roles that continue to challenge his emotional range. Insiders within the production note that Junho's influence on set extended beyond his performance. As one of the senior cast members, he often contributed input on scene rhythm, emotional pacing, and even soundtrack selection. Reports indicate that he recorded a demo for one of the show's OST tracks, though whether it will be included in the final release remains unconfirmed. This involvement underscores how Junho's creative process now encompasses both acting and production sensibility, reflecting his desire for holistic artistic engagement. As Typhoon Family continues to gain attention both domestically and internationally, Junho's comment remains the anchor point of public discourse. It encapsulates what makes the series powerful, its grounding in universal human relationships. His portrayal transforms the story from a simple family melodrama into a reflection on how individuals define themselves through others. The role of Kang Taepung might not be his flashiest, but it may be his most revealing, a culmination of his years of experience distilled into pure, unembellished performance. Ultimately, Lee Junho's statement, "I want to be a son, a brother, a husband, is not merely about familial roles. It's about authenticity. It's a declaration of intent to align his artistic identity with truth rather than pretense. In a media environment often dominated by image management, his words resonate as a rare expression of grounded self-awareness. For audiences, it reaffirms why Junho continues to stand out among his peers, not just for his talent, but for his commitment to portraying humanity in its raw, unfiltered form. Through Typhoon Family, Lee Junho redefines what it means to perform. He does not act to impress, he acts to connect. And in that connection lies the quiet power of his artistry, the kind that transforms scripted roles into reflections of real life. His evolution from idol to actor is now complete, not because he left behind his past, but because he integrated it into a fuller understanding of who he is and who he still strives to become.